I never imagined I'd become the kind of man, fighting to win back his own wife's attention. Her name's Claire. We've been married 9 years. From the outside, we looked steady. 2 kids. A warm house, the kind of smiles that impress. At dinner parties. But behind those doors, something had begun to fracture. And I felt it, long before she ever said a word. It started with silence. Not the easy kind that settles between 2 people who know each other too well, but a cold, weighted quiet that lingers. After a sentence dies halfway through, I'd come home from work, kiss her cheek, and she'd pull back slightly, like I'd interrupted her. Dinner turned into ritual, no laughter, no talk, just the scrape of silverware and the glow of her phone. At first, I told myself it was nothing. Stress. Routine. The noise of everyday life. But one night I saw it. That small, faraway smile she gave her screen. A smile that hadn't belonged to me in months. When I asked who she was texting, she didn't lie. Not really. Just someone from work, she said. Too smoothly, too practiced. My gut twisted. But I smiled anyway. Because that's what you do. When you're scared of being right, you pretend not to notice the storm forming. The messages grew longer. Her laughter returned. But not for me. She'd sit on the couch, scrolling, grinning, lost somewhere I couldn't reach. I tried to close the gap, planned dinners, asked about her day, suggested a trip. She always had a reason to say no. The worst part wasn't what she said. It was everything she didn't. Then came the night I couldn't look away anymore. She said she was meeting a friend after work. Catching up, she called it. I watched her get ready. New dress. Perfume she hadn't worn in months. That nervous excitement she once had before our dates. I wanted to believe her, but truth was already clawing its way through my chest. So I followed. Not out of jealousy, but to find clarity. Sometimes you need to face the thing that's been quietly killing you, just to know it's real. I parked a block away from the restaurant. Saw her car. Then her. Moments later, a man joined her. Younger, self-assured, the type who talks with his hands and laughs too loud. I watched them for 10 minutes. Her eyes sparkled the way they once did for me. My stomach dropped, but anger never came. Only finality. I could have walked in, made a scene, but I didn't. I drove home, sat in the dark living room, and waited. When she came in past midnight, heels clicking softly on the floor, she froze. "You're still up?" she asked, voice small. I nodded. "Yeah." I wanted to talk. Her gaze shifted. "It's late, Mark. Tomorrow?" "No," I said quietly. "Tomorrow's too far away." She hesitated. "You've been acting strange lately." I let out a hollow laugh. "Have I? I think I've just been paying attention." The color drained from her face. "What do you mean?" I said, "I know where you were tonight. I know who you were with." Her lips parted, but no sound came. Just that same silence. The one that had been growing between us for months. And then I said the words that stopped her from walking out of our life completely. "I'm not angry," I began, keeping my tone steady. "I just want honesty."
If you're done, say it.
"If you've found what you've been missing, I won't stop you. But don't stand here pretending we still have something whole, when half of you is already gone." She stared at me, eyes wide, trembling. For a second, I thought she'd lie again, feed me another excuse. But she didn't. "I don't know what I'm doing anymore, Mark," she whispered. "I just feel empty." He made me feel seen. That was the knife. Silent, sharp, and precise.
I didn't yell.
I didn't cry. I just nodded. "I used to make you feel that way too," I said. "Before life got too loud. Before you stopped looking at me." Tears welled up, but I didn't move. I'd already shed every tear I had, quietly, when no one was watching. "It's not about you," she said softly. "It's me." "Don't," I interrupted. "Don't say that."
Because it is about me.
About us. About how you decided that instead of fixing what was broken, you'd find someone new to distract you from the pieces. She sank onto the couch, hands trembling. It wasn't supposed to go that far, she whispered. Yet it almost did. And those words just hung there, between the two of us. There were no raised voices, no scenes, just the quiet sound of love slowly bleeding out. I walked into the kitchen, poured a glass of water, and stood there, feeling the weight of every choice that had carried us to this point. She finally spoke. "What do you want me to do?" I turned to her, met her eyes, and said the one thing neither of us expected. "Tell him it's over. Then tell me if you still want this marriage. But don't say it out of guilt. Say it only if you mean it." She looked at me like she was seeing me for the first time in years. The calm in my voice frightened her, more than anger ever could. "You're serious?" she whispered. "I am," I said. "I'm done begging to be loved." That night, she cried herself to sleep. In the guest room, I lay awake, staring at the ceiling, realizing love doesn't always die from betrayal. Sometimes it fades from sheer exhaustion. The next morning, she was gone early. No note, no message. Just that heavy silence again. At work, I half expected a text that never came. Hours passed. Then, near sunset, my phone buzzed. It was her. I ended it. I told him it was wrong. "I want to fix us if you'll let me." I stared at the words, but didn't reply. For once, I didn't rush to play the forgiving hero. I needed time, not to punish her, but to remember who I was. Before her attention became my oxygen. When I got home that night, she was there, eyes red, hands trembling. "I'm sorry," she said quietly. "I was lost." "I know," I replied. "But being lost isn't an excuse to burn everything around you." She nodded, tears sliding down her cheeks. "Do you still love me?" I hesitated. The truth wasn't simple. "I'll always care for you, Claire," I said. "But love needs trust. And right now, I don't have that." She stepped closer, searching my face. For hope, forgiveness, anything. But I didn't move. "I'll fight for us," she whispered. "Then start by fighting for yourself," I said softly. "Because if you don't know who you are, we'll just end up here again." She lowered her gaze and nodded slowly. "That was months ago. We still share the same roof, rebuilding piece by fragile piece. Some days are light, others heavy. But something changed forever that night. I stopped pleading for her love, and she started understanding what it meant to lose it. Sometimes, saving a marriage doesn't begin with forgiveness. It begins when a man finally says, "Enough."